So today's session, like Udit said, so I'll not waste much time about introducing about me, what we do, and all those stuff. So I'll directly go into the CPA course itself. So if you can see on my PPT, there are several steps. And before that, want to tell you a bit of facts about US CPA, what's happening in the US, and why this profession now is in some huge demand. So as we can see, most of them, in fact, last 2 years, there have been like 300K professionals have left the profession in the US. So there has been huge shortage of accountants in the US, and we are also seeing that happening in Canada as well. Now, so what could be the reasons for that? Obviously, many of the young professionals are moving towards content creation, Instagram Reels. It's more about influencer marketing for all of them. And apart from that, AI is what is automating a lot of the accounting stuff. So there are a lot of talks that AI might replace accountants in the US. And that's where we are seeing some demand going down straight away from the professionals. And this has been happening since last 2 years. And that's the reason why we are seeing CPAs are in huge shortage now. And there have been a lot of talks from AI CPA. There is a complete pipeline program by AI CPA to fix the CPAs, basically like how we can get more admissions for US CPAs and all those stuff. And that's what we see, that the CPA qualification as such is now growing like anything in the US and in Canada as well. And the shortages are, already we are seeing that in Deloitte, EY, KPMG, PwC. Even a lot of these firms also are seeing that there is that particular pipeline issue. You might be seeing that in the news as well, that EY increased the pay. And because there have been a lot of people complaining that accounting is not such a high paying field, and then you need to spend a lot of time also. And that's when a lot of the complaints was on that, and many of them are leaving the profession because of these reasons. And third biggest reason obviously is the aging population. And that's what you're seeing, that many of the CPA firms are getting sold. And we are seeing that happening now a lot in the US. And that's where my last slide was on how to open your CPA firm in the US. Because if the firms are getting sold, I think you can then see your career in entrepreneurship also. So that's where we'll be covering up all those things. But before that, what is CPA? Right? It's quite different from the CPA Canada. So like we have in India, chartered accountants, US chartered accountants are basically known as CPAs, which is certified public accountants. So what are the steps to meet the education requirement? Like every year of your graduation is converted into certain number of units known as credits, right? So first year of graduation gives you 30, second year of graduation gives you 30, final year of graduation gives 30. Now by default, US follows a 4 year graduation system, and India have a 3 year graduation system. So there is a gap. And because CPA exam requires you a minimum of 120 credits to sit for the exam. Now in India, we have a lot of people who are just grads. And even if you see that now that you are in Canada, you will see that the education system, what we have followed basically, and now what we see in new education policies, we have 16 years education system. But before that, I'm assuming that all of them have followed a 3 year BCom only. Now, if you have a 3 year BCom and no CA, CS, ICAI or MBA or whatsoever, then you will directly become like ineligible for the CPA exam because you only have 90 credits, right? Because US requires you to have a minimum of 120 credit to sit for the CPA exam. Now, sir, why is this a torturous step? Is what the reason is, because in CPA, the eligibility is a very, very big issue. Unlike chartered accountants, you just go there and register. Here, the registration itself is very cumbersome, and that's where a knowledge on what is the credit, how are the credits computed, is very much essential and indispensable. So if you see that, so just I'd want to kind of ask how many of them here are just plain BComs or in Canada currently and are pursuing masters or something like that in our chat today. If you'd want to put up in the chat window, How many of them are just plain BComs, no MBA, no MCom, no CA, no CS, no ICAI whatsoever? Only BCom combination? Okay. So we have one there. Any others who are just BCom? Guys, I'll be spending a lot of time on the step one itself because that is the most difficult step among all of them in CPA. Sarah is a BCom, but yes, 4 years, then I don't think so. That should be a problem, Sarah. So 4 years gives you 120, and there are a lot of states which accepts that. So in US, there are 55 states, folks. So it doesn't matter which state board you are becoming eligible because it's a uniform CPA examination. Oh no, I'm from Guam, I'm from Montana, I wanted New York, I wanted New Jersey, and all those stuff. It really doesn't matter because what matters is, are you eligible for the CPA exam or not? Which state board it is, it really doesn't matter. Okay. So we have two people. How many of them here are BCom and CA inter, who are like CA, half CA, something like that, who have finished CA IPCC or PCC or something like that? Yeah, non-accounting stream. So there is a bridge course which is there actually. So we have designed that bridge course. You can always register for that and get that balance 30 credits. And you can do simultaneously can sit for the CP exam. You don't need to wait for the bridge course to get completed. So what is the bridge course, guys? So it is a bridge between 90 and 120. So there is a bridge of 30 credits, which we have designed that program. So you don't need to do anything. That's approved by NASBA. It's a very, very less costly program. It gets over under 30,000 rupees, and it's a 1 year program which gives you 30 credits, right? So that's where it's kind of, so even if you're just a BCom also, you're eligible. You don't need to do any bridge course and all those stuff. But if you're a BCom but with no CA inter, ICAI and all those stuff, then it's a problem. You'll need to do a bridge course. Now what if, sir, if I am a half CA, then you don't need to do any bridge course because CA inter, CS inter, ICAI inter gives 30 credits. I repeat that again. CA inter, CS inter, ICAI inter all gives 30 credits. So, sir, even if I'm half CA, so will I be eligible for the CPA exam? 100% the answer is yes. So if you're a BCom gives you 90, CACS, ICAI, Inter gives 30 credits, right? Sir, what if I'm a chartered accountant, company secretary and ICAI, you get 60 credits. So if you're a BCom and if you're a CA, CS or ICAI, you get 90 plus 60, 150. And to get the license, or if you want to put beside your name Sripal Jain CPA, you need a license for that, right? So for that, you need 150. So to sit for the CPA exam, you need 120. To get the license, you need 150. So there is a 30 credit shortage, right? So that most of them, they first want to write the exam, pass the exam, and licensing they apply later. So you don't need to worry about the license. You just need to worry about first to pass the exam and then go for the job and get the job, right? So BCom CA Inter, very good. BCom MCom, 100% very good because MCom is treated like CA only in the US. So they consider chartered accountancy, MCom, MBA as masters only, right? So chartered accountants is considered as masters. So you will get a 60 credits for your MCom, MBA and all. So you don't need to do any bridge course or anything whatsoever. Yes, you can apply for CPA. You just need to register for the bridge course. You don't even need to wait for the bridge course to complete, Preet. So you can just immediately write the CPA exam itself. Just need. So what is that bridge course is? So you would write a letter to the state board. Hey, you know what? I have only 90 credits. I need to apply for balance 30 credits. So I have taken an admission in this bridge course. This is my written undertaking. And within next 18 months, I'll finish the balance credit program. Once you do that, they'll allow you to sit for the CPA exam even without completing the bridge course also. Okay. Does CA inter one group get me any credit? 100%. It gives you 15 credits. So CA inter group one gives you 15 credits, right? And group two gives 15. So both the groups gives 30 credits. Okay. CA final gives 30 credits. CA inter gives, CA final gives 30. CA inter also gives 30. And if you have passed one group also, you'll get 15 credits. I hope that clarifies. Okay. Yes. Next question, guys. Before we move on to the step two, the eligibility is very crucial, and that's why we are spending a lot of time on that because this is quite technical, and that's where we want that these questions get clarified for a lot of them. Okay. US CMA, ACCA, CFA, right, doesn't give any credits. So you get 0 credit for US related programs because these are competitors. So these are competitor to CPA. So US CMA, enroll agent, CPA Canada for that matter, any of these qualifications will not give you any credit. Only Indian qualification gives you the credits. Okay. So I am CA India and CPA Canada. Does this qualify me for US CPA? Oh, 100% yes, because you're already a chartered accountant, Vipul. So BCom and CA will give you, BCom gives 90, CA gives you 60, 150. You are also eligible for license as well, just not the exam eligibility. Sir, what if I'm just a chartered accountant and not a BCom? Still, there are two states, couple of states which accepts even without BCom. If you're just a chartered accountant, also you can become eligible for the CPA exam because those state boards do not have 120 credit rule, but they have upper accounting rules. So if you have 24 accounting, 24 business, you become eligible even without a BCom. Just with a chartered accountancy, also you become eligible for CPA exam. Okay, but you need to be very careful when you submit the documents. Okay, yeah. I hope I have clarified, Vipul. Yeah. Next questions, guys, on the eligibility. Any questions? If we don't have any questions, we can move on to the next step. Or what if I've done a master's from a distance course like MCOM distance? That also is considered in credits. Okay. So once you know your credit, how long it is valid to appear in the exam. So 1 year only the evaluation report is valid, and the next year you need to pay the money again and renew that evaluation report. That is only $20. So evaluation report first time is valid for 1 year, and then with $20 you can renew for 3 years. After 3 years you need to do re-evaluation again and pay $225. I'll come to the cost in the next coming slides, but yes, this is what it is. So do we need any certain working hours after clearing the exam to get the license? Yes, Ashima, you need 1 year of work experience in order to get the license. Normally, I can verify that because I myself a licensed CPA, so I can sign on your experience. I just need an HR confirmation so that I can do it for you all. Okay. Sir, I have BCom honors and CPA Australia. CPA Australia doesn't give any credits, Tavneet, so you will need to sit for the bridge course. See, don't worry. I mean, what is that bridge course? I've just taken 4 subjects of CPA and I've added 2 to 3 chapters in that bridge course. So it's a very, very simple exam. You don't need to do anything actually. It's completely mirrorizes the CPA exam. So whatever you are studying in the CPA exam, bridge course is very easy. So don't get panic like, oh, I need to do 1 more year of bridge course now and all those stuff. You just need to register and all, and later you can write the exam in the end because the content is complementary. You will not study anything additional, Tavneet. Okay. Siddhant, I've done BCom, BMS, Bachelor of Management Studies, MCom, and PG in Canada, plus USCMA. How many credits do you have? So, Bachelor's gives you 90, MCom gives 60, 150, PG in Canada might give you 30 or something. USCMA doesn't give you any credits. So, I think you have sufficient credits, Siddhant, but you'll still need to check the education documents before you go for the eligibility. Okay, but for now, you look good, Siddhant. See, all those whom I'm telling eligible, we still check the education documents and let you know. But yeah, by the way, you have kept the messages that you have BMS, MCOM, and all, so it looks quite comfortable for you. You should be safe. Okay. Okay. Now comes the step two. We'll take again the question once I finish this off. So step two is apply to take the CPA exam. So what is this? So you need to, once you get the evaluation report, you'll need to go to the CPA Central, create your account and apply for Prometric. So we have a Prometric in Canada itself. You can write your CPA exams in Canada itself. The best thing is you do not have to pay any $1,500 international testing fees, which is normally paid by people in India. So apart from the $1,000 CPA exam fees, you need to pay additional $1,500 for international testing also. So that is not there at all. Okay. In there, we don't have any exemptions actually. If you have done CPA Canada or whatever, there are no exemptions whatsoever in US CPA. Even if you're a chartered accountant, CPA Canada or IIM, ISB, Harvard, Stanford, no exemptions whatsoever. Okay. Okay. So once you get the evaluation report, you need to go to the CPA Central and apply for that. And yeah, get the NTS, which is nothing but your notice to schedule, which is your hall ticket. Okay. Now, step three is to study for the exam. I'll go to that later. So let's see what is the exam pattern now. So you have 4 papers in the new CPA syllabus of 2024. So you have FAR, you have audit, you have regulation, and the fourth one is discipline. Now, what happens, guys, is normally people scale when they specialize in something. I have never seen people scaling when they are generalist. I mean, just imagine this. If you're doing 10 things, people can't relate to what your expertise is. So normally it becomes quite difficult to get work when you don't have a specialization. And that's what you might be seeing. A lot of the senior people might tell you when you start a practice, specialize in something. So the moment you specialize, people give you work for that specialization itself. And that is the model they have adopted in the CPA exam also, because AI CPA thinks that we should be specialists, and that's how they have designed the curriculum also. Now, if I'm a big fan of financial accounting, I want to make accounting as my career. I see accounting as my career. So I will select FAR, audit, regulation. All the three are mandatory, guys. But the fourth paper, which is discipline, has three electives. Out of these three, you can select any one discipline. Now, if I want to make my career in accounting, I will select financial audit, regulation, and BAR, which is business analysis and reporting. So if you see that, so this is BAR actually have 10 chapters, right? And is the most lengthiest discipline among all the three discipline. The other three discipline, if you see TCPA and ISC, is very, very short actually. There are only 4 chapter in TCPA, 4 chapter in information system and control. But in BAR, you have 10 chapters, take 3.5 months minimum to complete this. Okay. So that's one big problem actually what we see in BAR. Okay. Considered to be the toughest discipline among all the three disciplines, not recommended by us, right? But people who are passionate in reporting, who are passionate in accounting, or passionate in FP&A, financial planning and analysis, wants to make a career in accounting and reporting, then you might select FAR, audit, reg, and then BAR as your discipline. Okay. Now, what, sir? What if my my interest is information technology? Because we see in Canada, technology is given a lot of importance. The Canadian companies also, they are a big fan of people who are techies, right? STEM is given a lot of importance outside India. So both in the US as well as in Canada. So most of them might select information system and controls because everywhere AI is coming up, right? A lot of things are getting automated. Then there comes cybersecurity, SOC 1, SOC 2 reports. These are all very important. Security, confidentiality, privacy. These are all very, very big things in AI. Now you might be hearing a word about ethical AI, right? Previously, the AI was working like Rajnikant. It was making 10, 20 of their own things. So if you're giving something to the chat GPT, it is trying to create its own intelligence actually. And now the world is talking about ethical AI a lot. And that's where technology becomes a very, very important subject for you all. So if that is your career, you might select FAR, audit, regulation, and the fourth paper can be information system and controls. So if IT is your forte, if this is where you want to build your future in, and this is where you want to specialize in, then these three subject and ISC could be the discipline for you. Sir, what about TCP? If you want to make a career in US tax, then you might select FAR, audit, and regulation. Fourth paper can be TCP, which is tax tax compliance and planning. Okay. So now, uh, what is the specialization concept here, right? So if you can see that FAR, audit, regulation. So BAR is an extension of FAR. It's an advanced FAR. IT is an extension of audit, which is information technology and audit, because audit will become automated in the near future. It is all about technology based audit, and that's why they have added information system and controls. And what about TCP, sir? It's advanced US tax. So first three are basic subjects, guys. Fourth one is the advanced subject. Am I making sense to everyone? Yes, guys. Are you able to relate with the pattern actually how this design is made? So they are testing you on the basic. Then you go on the advanced only when you have interest. I mean, see, I am a chartered accountant today. But are you doing indirect taxes in Canada, everyone? Yes, guys. Are you doing VAT, GST, and all those stuff? So even in India, also people become chartered accountants, but they don't kind of specialize in the things which they are not. I mean, they have studied in say accounting, audit, tax, and all those stuff, but they're not working in those areas, right? So they work in a specialist profile only. So in a smaller firms also these days, it's all about specialization. They are also not giving you GST, direct tax, each and everything, accounting, auditing. You cannot do 10, 20 services at a time. You can only do one service, and that's where the exam expertise is. Okay. Now, what is a passing score? You need to score a minimum of 75 in order to pass in the CPA exam. Now, this CPA 75 is not a percent. percentage, it's a percentile. What does this mean, sir? It's a graded score. Like you have GRE, GMAT, CAT. So it's a difficulty based. It's a weighted pattern wala score. It's a graded score, right? So what do you mean by grading score? Like LIFO is not prohibited in the US. LIFO is prohibited in India and in IFRS. So that are simple questions, right? So that is something like which doesn't give you a lot of weightage to your what do you say examination. But if they ask you a very lengthy application based question, then that gives a weightage and your score will get improved. So it's based on the difficulty level of your exam, and that's how your scores are calculated. Okay. Now I can give the exam from any state or jurisdiction. Like I said, you don't need to be from that state or that jurisdiction only. You can give the exam from any state or any jurisdiction. You will become eligible. Now the rule has changed from 18 months to 30 months, guys. It's a welcome rule by AICPA. So if you write your exam, say for an example, financial accounting and reporting in the month of January, you have a minimum of 30 months to pass the other three papers. So suppose you have given your exam in January far and you got the result in February. From February, you have 30 months of time to pass the other three papers. If you don't pass the other three papers in 30 months, you'll need to write the exam again, what you have passed. Okay. Any questions still here in the CPA exam facts? Anyone, any questions? Or any questions if I have missed because I was in the presentation with it? Yeah.
So there are a couple
So if
of
you see that,
questions which we have received recently. Like I have did my BMS and BCom and PG in Canada plus CMA USA. How many credits? It's all about the
yeah,
credits
I
over
think I've
here.
clarified that to the.
Did my BCom? Can I sit in IQEX after CA India, CPA Canada? I think we are good.
Yeah, okay. And then you have 50% multiple choice questions and 50% is the simulations. So what is simulation? So these are case law based questions, guys. So I'll directly not take much time because Udit have given me only 1 hour. So I'll have to be very quick and not take much time. So this is a Becker software typically. Most of them uses Becker for CPA actually. So I'll not go much beyond marketing of the products and all, but I can just explain you how a simulation looks like, right? So if you go here and yes, is my screen visible to everyone? It's 75 percentile, Ashima. It's not 75 marks. Okay. Yes. Is the screen visible to everyone? Udit?
Yes, it is.
So this is how a simulation looks like, guys. This is exactly how they ask in the exam also. So you'll be given a spreadsheet, you'll be given a calculator and overview. So these are nothing but your case law based questions, right? Essay based questions, comprehension based question. The only difference what we see in our 10th class, right? 8th, 9th, 10th class. वहां पे हम लोग comprehension देख के लिख देते थे exam में, but here it is not the case. Here you will need to analyze and interpret and then answer here like this, right? So you have journal entries here. You'll need to fill in this all these journal entries and then you'll need to make. So you'll need to read the case and then analyze it and then interpret it and then answer it. So this is where your exact pattern of this one is given, right? So I'll just reset what are they asking in this, the facts of the question. I'll just show you how a question looks like. So see here, they have given a construction contract question, right? So they're given a sale price, estimated cost, cost to date, bill to date, and all those stuff. And now they are telling you to calculate. And also they're asking you journal entries as well. So this is just from the far. I've just shown you how a simulation looks like because MCQs everyone knows. They'll give you 4 options, but how a sim looks is very, very important. So they will ask you this. They have given one big case and they'll tell you to fill the gross profit. They might ask you to fill the journal entries here. Say suppose contract receivable and say contract receivable to revenue, you have recognized the revenue. So this is a cost entry actually. So here you will need to record the cost. So in case here we take construction cost debit, right? And you write the amount and then credit would be the cash. So something like this. So they'll ask you debit, say $100 or something here, you need to fill in here. So I'm just giving you an example. So this is how the simulation looks like. So these are 50% weightage is given to this. So this is like practically they're asking you to fill and do it. So you'll be given a spreadsheet, you'll be given a calculator and all these things. There's a timer also. So it's a 4-hour exam, guys. So 50% is multiple choice question and 50% is simulation. So this is how it looks like. Okay, cool. I'll again go back to the PPT. Is it clear what is a simulation to everyone? So I've just taken a sample because if I talk orally, you might not have understood that. So I hope now you're able to understand MCQs and task-based sims. So you get 50% multiple choice questions and 50% you'll have sims. So now overall, you have 4 papers, Siddhant. So first 3 papers are mandatory, financial, audit, and regulation. There is no choice, right? The fourth paper is discipline. In this discipline, you have a choice out of. So there are 3 papers in the discipline. Out of those 3, you can write one. You can select one. That's what I was telling. If your favorite is accounting, then financial, audit, regulation, and what is the fourth paper? You will select everyone. Yes, guys. If your passion is accounting, so how would you write your exam? So fire, audit, regulation, and what could be the fourth paper for you in discipline? Because you can select only one in the discipline. So what could be that one? Bar, right? Obviously. So Harvey have got that right. So if your passion is towards US tax, because you see a lot of US tax work getting outsourced, you see a lot of shortages in the US tax. So that is one big area where we are focusing on. And also pass percentage of TCP is significantly higher, guys. So if you want to pass the CPA exam, I've seen TCP is getting almost 75% success rate. And if you see ISC and bar, second comes ISC, third is bar. Bar has the lowest pass percentage, right? So you might select FAR, audit, regulation, and TCP could be because see, understand TCP, there are only 4 chapters. So I'll just go into the section wise. So in financial accounting reporting, you have revenue recognition, leases, you have construction contracts, like I showed you, consolidation, select balance sheet accounts. So overall 80 to 100 hours, guys. So if you want to write the FAR exam, a minimum of 2 months, 2 to 2.5 months of preparation is required for the first subject. So 50 MCQs and 7 task-based simulations. Okay. Audit is considered to be the toughest paper in CPA. A lot of chartered accountants have failed the audit exam. Audit is a very, very tricky paper. Every option will look to be right in audit. Need to be very careful and watch out for. In entire CPA, this is one paper to be watched out for. Right? Again, it also takes 2.5 to 3 months. 78 MCQs and 7 task-based simulations is what you need to do in audit. Okay. Similar to what is there in India audit. So you have professional responsibilities, assessing risk, performing further procedures, obtaining evidence, forming conclusions, and reporting. If you have done CA final audit, this is cakewalk actually for people who are chartered accountants. CA is one of the toughest exam, guys. Make no mistake on that. So CPA is not so tough, to be honest. Actually, it's quite an easy exam. So 4 paper exam, unlike CA, it's like almost 25, 24 papers. Okay. Then you have taxation and regulation, which is US tax, individual taxation, company taxation, corporate taxation, C Corp, S Corp, right? You have ethics, professional responsibility, a bit of business law. So again, US tax, 72 MCQs and 8 SIMs. So sir, what is special in this CPA 2024? Previously, FAR was 10 chapters, everyone. They reduced the FAR content to 6 chapters. So this have become very easy in this year. FAR, regulation, also 8 chapters where there's 6 chapters. Audit have become little tougher in the new 2024 exam. Okay. Now, discipline mein you have bar. Like I said, you business analysis, technical accounting and reporting, state and local government, advanced consolidation, advanced revenue recognition, a lot of tough chapters, forex derivatives. In the US, they don't live buffalo also. So beef trading also, beef derivatives, swaps, options, swaptions, their accounting, their hedge accounting, all those stuffs are covered in business analysis and reporting. Okay. 50 MCQs and 7 SIMs, 100 to 120 hours. Minimum of 3.5 months will be required for bar. ISC 1 to 1.5 month is more than sufficient. Only 4 chapters: information systems, data management, security confidentiality, and SOC engagements. Tax compliance also 1 month is sufficient, right? So that's why I was telling you can select TCP or ISC instead of bar. So TCP has only 4 chapters: entity tax compliance, tax planning, property transactions. And then again, this is an advanced tax is what I would say. 68 MCQs and 7 task-based simulations. What is a study plan now? BC was last year. This got replaced by a new, more advanced discipline sections. Passing BC in 2023 would have meant you do not need to take and pass one of the disciplines. But because many of them are new here, no one would have scheduled the exam also. So BEC is no longer there, and that have been replaced by these three disciplines. Out of these three disciplines, like Siddhant, I said, you need to select only one. Then you have FAR, audit, and regulation. So FAR have become easier. So we would recommend FAR to start first, and then go with audit, then go with regulation, and finally go with the discipline. Now, a lot of the people might start with their favorite area. They're working in US tax, so you might start off with US tax regulation as your first subject, and then go for other sections like audit, BEC, audit or discipline, and all those stuff. Now, who all are working in audit, I would not recommend you to start with audit first. Anyone here who are working with audit profile, are already working and are audit professionals? Anyone out here? Okay, no one is working in currently in audit. Okay, Kuldeep is there. Yeah, so you're in India. So normally we don't recommend you to start off with audit first, because a lot of questions from FAR gets asked in audit. Like in CA also, we used to have in audit, we used to have accounting standard 5 events occurring after balance sheet date. I don't know how many CAs could relate here. So, but we used to have a lot of accounting standard questions in auditing paper. And similar strategy here is in CPA also. We never recommend you to start off with audit first. I'd suggest you always to join with FAR first. And if in case if you want to start with audit first, you better do first two chapters of FAR, because they will ask you a lot of content and concepts of FAR in audit. So just be careful on that particular thing. Okay. So this is how the study plans looks like. The entire exam, right? CPA could be well completed less than 12 months. Okay. It should not take more than 12 months for you. So it can get finished in less than 12 months. So these are the two resources which we normally give, like if in case if you would want to register and all. So we normally give you a Becker's product, right? And then you have this Samandar product also. So in Samandar course, so basically we kind of give the evaluation and all those stuff. So all those things comes up here, are live classes, and also we normally are the only one who gives the Becker product and the CPA classes also. So we conduct that all on Saturdays and Sundays basically. So that is where is our thing. So if you can see that there are a lot of welcome letters which we have put. So this is nothing but your so if anyone gets enrolled and all. So normally we give them a letter, what are the things which they should do, and there is an evaluation process document which we have captured. What should they be careful of? What should they not be careful of? Right? We have our onboarding sessions, we have a CP discipline, we have mentoring sessions, and whatnot. Actually, our live classes get scheduled. Who all misses the live classes, they can watch the recordings and all those stuff. Because Udit said not to do a lot of promotion, so I might not take more than 2 minutes. And here I take a pause, and I would want to take up some questions if at all anyone has.
So if anyone has any questions, can just type in or can raise their hand or can just unmute themselves and can ask with Shripa. So Shripa, there is a question. Just a minute. So there is a question. Even if CPA Canada main depth role was audit, it is out of today topic question, but really want to know if one has a CPA Canada while staying in Canada, will CPA US add more value and helping in higher compensation, better opportunities, cover the time as compared to CPA Canada?
See, we are seeing a lot of international taxation work in the Canada, and there's a lot of cross-border transactions happening actually. And any place US dominates a lot, because obviously US is the one we accept US dollars and all. So US qualification becomes very significant, right? And in Canada, we have a lot of US companies. Like in India today, CPA is very popular because a lot of US companies are in India. Similar thing is in Canada also. We have a lot of US companies. They normally would appreciate if you have a US CPA, right? You will easily get a lot of value, and who knows, you might also get an opportunity to shift to US also. So there's a lot of people from Canada, they normally migrate to the US as well. So then in that manner, US CPA is better. Now for BCom CA Inter, if they do CPA Canada, they need to pay 20 to 25 lakhs, right? Or in fact, at least for CPA Canada, it is more than 12 to 13 lakhs. So, but for CPA US, you can complete it in what? In less than 4 lakhs, even if I had training and all. If I had this Becker product, this, that, and all. So you should not take more than 3 lakh rupees for the entire 3 to 3.5 lakhs. I would say 3.5 lakhs is maximum. That is the only cost you have for the US CPA. But for CPA Canada, people who are not chartered accountants and who are not going via that MOU, then that's a big issue, right? So I'd strongly suggest you to do with US CPA only. Okay, US CPA is much superior. It has the highest accounting body members, 7,13,000 members. It's the largest accounting body in the world, right? So it has huge respect. Everyone knows US CPA. Okay, obviously Becker actually. So Samandar and Becker. So we follow Becker material. Becker is there in the market since 75 years, right? So most of the questions get repeated in the exam. So it's not about marketing or something like that. But yes, 75 years hai, so the product is good. Then you have our live classes and also everything is taken care. Now, if you have daily questions, MCQs and all that also can be clarified through our study groups. And also my suggestion would be to always go with Becker. Myself a Becker alumni. Is it better to give the IQX exam rather than giving the CPA exam if you're a CPA Canada? No, Chandni, they'll not recognize IQX exam. That is just for namesake MOU. Normally, they'll not even see. They would want you to see a USA because you will not get a license, Chandni. Later in Big Fours, they'll push you for getting a CPA license. So with an IQEX exam, with that MOU, you will not get a CPA license. So they'll never ever give you the license. That's only that MOU is only for passing, I mean, calling yourself a CPA, right? But that doesn't give you any privileges. So my suggestion would be to go for US CPA itself, then going for IQX exam. Now, for chartered accountants who are qualified, you'll still need to give a CFE exam, which is again very tough. It's very costly. So I'd also recommend you instead of CPA Canada, you'd rather go for CPA US. If you're a chartered accountant, also tomorrow, if you want to shift to the US or something like that, CPA US will help. And understand this, there are huge shortages of accountants in the US. So this is a qualification one would do. And a lot of the work instead of India might get outsourced to Canada also because the timings are quite I would say they are synonymous or say similar. So you might see a lot of work getting outsourced to Canada also. I've seen a lot of CPA firms of US opening in Canada. Then they would to prefer only US CPA there, right? So my suggestion would be only to go with US CPA.
So there were previous questions as well, like I think you have taken the last one. So there was a question from Vidit as well for licensing post clearing US CPA, how one can do that sitting and working in Canada. And there is
Unfortunately,
from
with that's the biggest disadvantage, and that would be the so normally I'm very honest and transparent in the session. So this is one big problem if you write the CPA exam in Canada, right? So if you write the US CPA exam in Canada, and if you want to get an MOU of Canada, so normally guys, if you have a US CPA, you get a Canadian CPA also complementary. If you have 30 months of work experience, but that 30 months should be in the US, right? So that's the biggest problem. So if you write the exam in India, then the 30 months can be of any place. Understand this. Let me know if I'm going little fast. I'll explain this again. So if you write the CPA exam in Canada, you need to have 30 months of work experience in order to get CPA Canada. Also along with US CPA. Now that 30 months experience has to be in the US, not in Canada. So if it is not in the US, I mean, if it is in Canada only, then you'll not get CPA Canada ever. You'll always get CPA US only. So this is for the people who want to get two qualifications by CPA US exam. So sir, can I go to India and write the CPA exam? 100% you can do that and then apply for CPA Canada also. You will get US CPA also, you will get CPA Canada also.
no,
Both
no,
the
I think
qualifications by just 4 exams.
I think Shripa, like over there in this MOU with between CPA Canada and CPA US, there is a clause which says like what my limited understanding is like you should not have entered into Canada previously if you have done a CPA US in India, but if you have traveled Canada or if you have been here earlier, I believe you won't be eligible for to having a CPA Canada.
Okay, because you're telling that they'll still have the PR, no, Sripal, even if they go to Canada. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
think yes, that's right, Udit. So unfortunately, guys, you will need to work in US for
but
1 year to
yes,
get a CPA
yeah,
Canada degree.
yeah,
But that's fine because US CPA is popular in Canada anyways.
yeah.
But this was a pathway, guys, I was explaining. I hope everyone is able to understand. What if, sir, with one exam, एक तीर पे दो शिकार जैसा हिसाब है ये. So with one exam, can you get 2 degrees? 100% you could have done that. But that 1 year experience, if you can get in the US, so suppose you work 1 year in the US, then you can get CPA Canada also. But to be honest, no one knows the MOU also in Canada. They just know CPA hai nahi hai. So if you're US CPA,
Yeah,
you will get a job. Okay.
yeah. So I have heard the stories and I have seen the stories of both the sides, and like I also know the persons like who have done a CPA Canada, being a CA India, and they have just given a CP, and after that they have applied for a CPA US, and they have just given a one of the exam. That is, I believe that was tax, and after that they were able to have CPA US as well, just giving one exam. So this was the easiest route I found. So there are people, and there are also people like once you're having a Canadian citizenship. I personally believe like you having a TN visa, you can have a benefit of that NAFTA agreement. I believe it's being changed, but yet it's very much easier for a Canadian citizen to go in US, and for sure, like if you're having a CPA US, that will be giving you a whole lot advantage. And there is also one clause in the list of the professionals which can go over there. One of the accounting, I believe is over there in which you can just join and can go to US. That opens up a opportunity for you to go to US if you have that plan. So there were other questions as well. So the many questions came up in a very frequent in very frequently, and I believe like I have missed a couple of them. But Sripal, if you can just go through quickly, I'm not sure if which you have
Yeah.
answered and which you have not.
So to get license of US CPA, 1 year work is mandatory, 100% yes. So for license Gitanjali, you will need 1 year of work experience. So that's very important. So can we do in Canada? For that, there is no clause. That is different. And the 30 months Gitanjali, I was talking more about people who want to get two degrees. So that was the idea of the 2 year, 30 months experience. So that has nothing to do with CPA license. 1 year you can do it in India, US or whatever. But that MOU thing, which I was discussing, was different actually. So we can do it in Canada or no need to move to US or anywhere. Okay. And Ashima, I
Sripal,
think,
there,
yeah.
yeah, Sripal, there was one of the question like we'd like to have your independent view how the Becker, Hawk, and Will is different. Like the person has been asking, though you have been associated with Becker, but how these
Yeah.
three
So,
products are different.
so Wiley, the material is very comprehensive, guys. So it's quite detailed and all those stuff. So I don't know how many people understand that material actually. And Wiley got acquired by Roger last year. So most of the material is under preparation only actually. So we don't recommend that. Second is Hawk is very like 10, 20 years old material actually. And I have never heard Hawk material only for CP. The Becker reason is, like I said, it's there in the market since 75 years now. So huge numbers. And in professional exam, a lot of the questions come from previous year only.
Mhm.
Today, many of them have become chartered accountants by studying compilation, suggested answers of last 20 years. That is how you pass a professional exam, right? So that's what happens in CPA also, what happens in CA. You just need to refer last 20 years question paper, you'll pass this exam also. So that are all covered in Becker because it's been there in the market since many years. So most of the questions comes in exam directly without even changing some of the figures also. I've seen that. But again, that's not a guarantee or something like that. So are we telling that a lot of the questions will come directly from Becker? I don't think so that I can give that as a disclaimer here, right? So you can get anything, but yes, from Becker, we have seen that the pattern, the familiarity, you have seen the interface also when I was presenting it, right? Because of the restrictions and एक मर्यादा है session की I cannot do marketing, so that's why I cannot show you the entire product and all. Definitely, you can after this session you can visit Samandar Education website or Becker's website and you can see the products, both of them. So we give both the products actually when you register. You get a Samandar software also, and you get the Becker software and the physical material also. Okay.
So are there any further questions? If you have missed anything, you can just type in over there. And
Vipul's question is missed, is what is telling.
Vipul, can you just copy paste your question? Like there were suddenly there are a lot of messages, so we could have missed. So Vipul, I think I missed the answer to CPA IQX. If I qualify the after CPA India and CPA Canada, considering I got credit for CPA Canada for being an Indian CPA.
Okay, I think I missed the answer to the if I qualify after CPA India and CPA Canada. If I qualify after CPA India and CPA Canada, considering I got credit for CPA Canada for being an Indian CPA. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not able to understand the question, Vipul, actually.
Vipul, you can also just unmute yourself and can ask your question.
Yeah, if they can raise hand, that would be good with it. Instead of typing, you can unmute some of them.
Yeah.
Hey, can I
Yeah,
speak?
yeah, please.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say, like when I did Canadian CPA, I joined under the MOU between Indian CA and Canadian CPA.
Yeah.
So I was trying to go for IQX, but I think there is somewhere written like if you got Canadian CPA using that reciprocity benefit, then generally you don't qualify. Like there is no clarity I could get, so that's what I'm asking. If I can directly sit in IQX,
Yeah, Vipul, even I can answer that question. That is for sure. Like if we go via legality of the what been written over there, that something were very much correct. And over there, if you have done CPA Canada through the MOU via CPA India through CA India, so you won't be eligible for. But yes, in my practical experience, I know the persons and who have applied for those MOU with CPA Canada between only CPA Canada and CPA US, and they were eligible and they have just given one of the exam, and I believe it was tax, and they were able to get the CPA US by just giving that exam. And so I don't personally believe like if you will ask Sripal or you will ask me that we can just vet it, but yes, you can just float your you can just float your application. I believe you should be good. And it's
oh,
completely it's there. It's just about the decision what TCP US make. But yes, going looking to the legality, going if you will ask with the what's been written in the law, it's very clear that it should not be through MOU.
okay, so you suggest I should still go and attempt for this IQX, like make
For
an
sure, for sure, for sure. I have seen this personally. If you want, I can also connect you with that person. You
okay,
can just check with them. I think, and
yeah,
he have done it very in a very legal way. He has been very transparent. I know him. He has been CPA has very, he has been a very good friend, and he has done his all the very legal way. But CPA USA has still considered his application, and he have just given one of the exam, and he was able to, and he's still practicing as a CPA US over there.
okay. Can I connect with you maybe after this session, maybe through?
Sure, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Okay, let me
Done,
connect. Okay.
done. So there are other questions as well, sir. Sir, what I write in an exam in India and what's CPA Canada too, but we have a Canadian PR or a citizenship. What are the legal compliances?
I think that's what Udit have clarified that
Okay,
Ashima.
okay,
So unfortunately,
okay.
you will not be able to have that MOU, right? Because you are end of the day still a citizen. Because the rule is very clear that if you are
Yeah,
even in Canada also, you are not eligible actually.
yeah.
So that's what it
Siminder
is.
is also providing Becker software assess. Is the material within the cost of Siminder? When I checked Becker, it was costly. How it will be managed with the? You can just check with Siminder. I just don't want to a lot of um, like Siminder or Becker going over there. I just don't want to spoof of people. So
Yeah.
if you have
So
any
I think
technical question, you
I
can
have
connect with
clarified that
yeah,
Udit for them.
yeah, for sure,
So
for sure, for
they
sure. You
can
can
get
directly
Simandar
connect
and
with
Becker both actually.
yeah. Could you please connect me too? I am also looking forward this way. Yes, Sonia Saminder provides the material and Becker both perfect. This is only Indian students. Perfect. So, are there any other questions? We will just wait for 10 seconds. Yeah. So you can just unmute yourself and ask questions with Shripa. Sir, if we work remotely, Uh, American compliance remotely, American company does that includes in 1 year requirement for Canadian CPA.
What if we work remotely for no, it won't. You have to be in America, guys. Work from home
Yeah,
won't be counted.
yep. Okay, awesome.
You're from Nepal, so it won't. Sonia, actually, this session is for the people who are in Canada, right? So, are you from Nepal? So, are you not in Canada, Sonia, currently, or how's it like?
I
So,
don't apply for me. Not sure.
so
Okay,
if you're in
okay.
Canada, Sonia, it will still work. Even if you have come for a holiday trip, also that MOU will not will not be applicable. I mean, you cannot take the benefit of that MOU.
Mm, Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So,
So
Udit, some of them have asked cost actually of the exam.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
there's an
yeah. So
international testing fees. This
yeah,
is not applicable for the people who are in Canada actually, because they have waived off the international testing fees for all the people who are in Canada. Now, you have only exam fees, which is 1,16,200 per section is $350. Then you have evaluation fees of 18,675. Then you have the application fees of $130, 10,790. So overall around 1,60,000. Then you have a training and all in case if you want Becker and all, that is another say 1,20,000 or something. That's what I said. 2,90,000 to 2,80,000 should be your investment. I hope this
perfect,
clarifies.
perfect. And there has been a lot of questions coming around that if you're working from home or you have to work in US. Again, coming from my personal experience, and it is something.
No,
So
actually, Gitanjali, like I said, and like Udit is also telling, even if it's a US based company or working from Canada, they want 1 year work experience in US.
US. So and it's just for the practical experience, what I would like to share over here. I know a person. Again, he's a very good friend, and he's a CPA US, and he was a and it's still a Canadian citizen. He's still a Canadian citizen, and he got a job in US, and everything payroll, everything was running in US. So it was like he was working for a US company. He has been over there, and like US company shifted him to Canada, but still he was on US payroll, and he was coming to Canada on behalf of a CPA US company, which was based in US. He just applied for after a year or two. He applied for CPA Canada, and he got his CPA Canada through that route. So that is also one of the routes. So if you're finding or looking for any job in CPA US, you can just check with them what kind of work they are having if you still want to work in Canada. But you will have to be enrolled. You will have to be having a job in CPA US, and you will be coming to Canada or going out of US only in the case when there are specific job requirement to be in Canada. Again, you can personally connect with me if you want to have other personal experience about that. I'm there on WhatsApp. My number is there on WhatsApp.
So I think that's what Udit. So Gitanjali, if you can
Yeah,
see, have at least 1 year of full-time practical experience in accounting in the USA. I've also
yeah,
forwarded you guys the link of this US CPA and CPA Canada MOU. So this is one of the dangerous condition which I have seen here. If you
yeah,
are in Canada already, then you must have at least 1 year of full-time practical experience in accounting in the US.
yeah,
So you need to
yeah,
watch out for this. Okay.
yeah. Perfect. So the last question, what if we work from Canada? Believe this one is done.
Yeah.
So sorry guys, you must be hearing a lot of noise. There is a CNE going over here. I'm just reside next to CN Tower. So there are fighter jets. There's a show which is going on over here. Yeah. So is there any other question? So we are done with all the questions. So for getting Canadian CPA through CPA US route, now one has to work 1 year in CPA US. I think we have covered this.
See, that's what I was telling
Perfect.
Harvey. Just a
Yeah.
US CPA is more than sufficient. Don't go for that
Yeah.
MOU and all. No one even knows also that MRA. First of all, recruiters are not even having time. They're just looking whether you're US CPA or Canadian CPA. That's all. This
That's
all
all.
is why I said was you will get one more degree. So afterwards, you will see after 4 or 5 years, you can apply for CPA Canada also. What is a rush? You will always have an opportunity to work in the US once you have a US CPA for sure. Because they'll send on secondment and all those stuff. That time you can do that. Okay.
So thank you, Shipal. Thanks for your time. Thanks everyone for joining in here in the numbers.